I am back and I'm doing this video about Mars in the sixth house synastry. And you know what is so crazy about me doing this video? I already done it and I accidentally deleted it. Just go figure. So Mars in the sixth house, like making me work. But anyways, so Mars in the sixth house synastry. You know, this is pretty this could be or show a synastry aspect to where two people may find it hard to get on the same page with each other. You know, there could be this push pull effect when interacting with each other, you know, because you take Mars has its desires, its passion. Mars is built and made to just go and operate. Now, I'm taking into consideration, everybody. I'm taking into consideration the sign that it's in. You know, I definitely am. But when push comes to shove, Mars likes to assert, should I say, its own will. And wherever it's sitting at, in the synastry chart, that's where it wants to insert its will at. Period. So this is a push and pull effect because Mars wants to insert its own will, maybe to even rush things along, you know, in a relationship. Mars is like, see the sixth house. And it's kind of like, okay, well, this is the person that I want, or this is the situation that I want, or do we want this together? Are we in agreement? Okay. So what do we need to do to make this happen? The sixth house person may or may not be used to this type of thing, but Mars is in the sixth house and it really wants to develop the relationship. It wants to actually work on things, okay? It does not want to be rushed. So this is the push and pull effect because it can seem almost as if both people can find it hard to get their needs met simultaneously. Now, this is what you're doing. Ultimately, you're attempting to get your needs met at the same time, okay? Or somebody's going to have to compromise. And in this position, we can see also where if the sixth house, because you got to think about this too, the sixth house being a house to where we're working on things, we're developing things, right? I give to you, you give to me. I do for you, you do for me. And so it's not going to try to waste its time in taking things or making things serious sometimes. It just depends. Remember, their wills could be off on how to make things work. So there could be instances to where the sixth house person could want the could try to rush the Mars person or control the Mars person, and the Mars person is like, well, I'm just not ready, and it could lead to disagreements between each other. So here we can see frustration in the synastry. We can see arguments because of misunderstandings. You know, who's going to do what? Like, who's going to be responsible for certain financial aspects of the relationship? Who's going to pay the bills? Who's going to take the children to school? Now, I'm not saying that they cannot be on the same page doing this, because the same reason why they would not be on the same page could be and find it difficult to work out could be the very same reason why they do get on the same page and able to work things out. See how that works? Gotta remember this. The same reason why they can't get on the same page or they won't is the same reason why they will or they could. Okay? Now, with that being said, yeah, Mars, could feel like, or the sixth house person could feel like the Mars person is trying to insert their own will, and there could be, the sixth house given to the Mars person, and then they're like, okay, well, every single time I look up, it's like the Mars person is acting like a child and wants to get their own way, and in the world, the world doesn't operate like that. Like, we have to compromise, and this is the biggest thing of this relationship is compromise, unless the signs that are here is saying something different. It's like put it in a position to where the sixth house doesn't mind if they have to do things for the Mars person, or the Mars person comes to them to be assertive and get things done, because they could feel like that is their relationship or love language. You see what I'm saying? But the Mars person, if they feel controlled, or if they feel like the sixth house person is stopping them in some way from moving forward, the Mars person can get frustrated. The Mars person could want to withdraw and then kind of like take their attention or assert their energy or their will elsewhere. This is one of those synastry aspects that you see two people married or in a relationship doing things for each other. Like, have you ever seen those situations where one party is like, okay, well, yeah, that's my husband or that's my man or something, but at the same time, it's like, we take turns picking up the kids, or we cook together and eat dinner. It's just what we do, But at the same time, it's boring. It's that bottom line established routine. Now, here you can see a lot of slow passion. Okay. This is the wait to build up to that possibility. Or when you're actually in the act, you could be going slow. And sometimes, hey, you could be getting dirty too, because the sixth house doesn't always, it's the thing about the sixth house is it can go either or, it's like a divide right down the middle. You got some sixth house people, or like a couple that are coming together to where they're very like, after they finished, hey, let's change the sheets. Okay. Hey, let's work this, sex in as a routine, like operating like, okay, oh, it's 1 a.m. The kids are asleep. It's time for me to do my duties of pleasing my man. You get what I'm saying? It can have that type of vibe to it. And it could, lack the spontaneity unless other placements show otherwise, that's needed sometimes in relationships to keep it burning, But here, I feel like compromise is the word. And this is the thing. Because arguments can arise over who's getting their way. So there has to be a compromise, and then you guys can do things to work together. Like, work on something together. Not necessarily separate. Nothing. It doesn't have to do. It has to do with paying bills or like ordinary work. Like, come up with a hobby or something that you do together. Being able to compromise. Like, sometimes, Mars, you have to compromise your will. Not, for the sake of showing the sixth house sometimes that you can, think about something else besides yourself and what your needs are. And then the sixth house, you can also kind of just let Mars have its way and do its thing sometimes without you being picky about every little move that they make, and then start focusing on fun things. Okay. Yeah. There's a very routine or interaction here, but sometimes break that routine with spontaneous things that you do and you enjoy together. Okay, this is Mars in the sixth house synastry. I'm Butterfly the Light, and I definitely will be back.